안녕하세요 여러분, 저는 무리입니다. 오늘은 이 드라마를 대해서 이야기할 거예요. Alright, so this is a different video than I had planned to upload today, and I'm actually really disappointed that you guys aren't going to be able to see the original video because I'm quite happy with how it turned out. But I've gotten to experience firsthand what a lot of YouTube creators complain about with the YouTube copyright claim system. I was under the impression that if I did like a full reaction to an episode, which I did the first 2 episodes of Eve, recorded and edited my full reaction to both of those episodes. I was under the impression that if I were to post that, it would be copyright claimed and I just wouldn't be able to monetize it. I was totally happy with doing that. I usually only make $1 off of each video I post, so I don't really care about the money. I was very wrong. The video I uploaded and had all prepared for today, copyright claim that it received made it so no one could view it anywhere. Not even just like restricted to North America. It was like, you can't show this video to anyone. That out of the way, 리뷰를 시작해요. So as I've only watched the first 2 episodes of Eve, the ones I reacted to, that is what this first impression is going to be based on. When I went into my reaction, I really went in blind because I knew absolutely nothing of note about the series. I knew the main lead actress, and I also knew that it was some sort of revenge story. What she was avenging, I did not know. I also had the impression that there was an affair that was a big part of the series, but I wasn't sure the dynamic at play. I didn't know if she was the wife and there was another woman, or if she was the other woman. I was not sure. I also had the suspicion that our female lead was some sort of dancer because I saw in a Instagram video she's like warming up at a bar. So in my mind, due to how lush and rich this show looked, I thought she's either a prima ballerina or a ballroom dancer. For my first impression, I want to give you a much more in-depth synopsis. Many people will probably say what I'm about to say is spoilers. So if you have no interest in any sort of spoilers whatsoever, I don't think this is the review for you, because I do want to tell a lot of the character backstory and motives, because we are told all of this in the first 2 episodes alone. So in my mind, if they give away so much of the character's backstory and motives right away, it must not be the biggest mystery for the show. I feel like there must be more to the plot going forward. Like, I have a feeling this will be a roller coaster ride. That is why I'm going to give away the spoilers for the first 2 episodes. You have been warned. Goodbye, anyone who doesn't want to hear spoilers. Let's go. As I've already mentioned, this is a revenge story. Our female lead is the daughter of a man who was like, I found it pretty unclear exactly what he did. This major company thought he sold trade secrets, or he was some sort of like corporate spy, something like that. So she is his daughter and he is brutally tortured in front of her. Their house ends up being ransacked looking for his notes or like the thing he stole. So she goes through this major traumatic experience, after which she flees to the States. Our story starts when she returns. She returns under an alias and a fabricated past. She even has a different mother. She's married with a daughter. She begins to insert herself into the lives of the family that wronged her father, so owners of this big corporation. Her main target is the son-in-law of the CEO, owner, 할아버지 guy. This is where the affair comes into play. She is attempting to seduce him. So that is the synopsis for this series that I'm going to give. First of all, I have very little pros. I truly did not enjoy the first 2 episodes. There was not much that grabbed me. Camera work, the editing, The directing, it was really stale. The most interesting scenes for me was her tango performance. I thought that was shot very well. It was very beautiful. And then all of the really like R-rated scenes I also thought were really good. Those were some of the scenes that got the biggest reaction out of me personally because I found them very unexpected. Yikes. The next thing that I really did not enjoy was the music choices. The score on its own is quite lovely. They're doing a lot of like classical music. Like on its own, it's fine. But paired with what you're watching, I think it's overdone and it's trying way too hard. I think this show would have benefited from a lot of quiet moments or even more horror movie sounding soundtracks. I think a lot of the plot points and the scenes, they're trying to come off as really like disturbing or manipulative or threatening, but I don't think the music is helping at all. My last major issue is the male lead. He is the husband that our female lead is trying to seduce. He is a wet blanket. I did not enjoy watching him at all, and I think it's because you as the audience member know nothing about this character. You're not sure how to root for him because you know nothing about him in these first 2 episodes. He's obviously tempted by our female lead, but you don't know if you're supposed to encourage him to have an affair. Like, you don't know enough about the state of his marriage. There are scenes where it's obvious that he does not agree with how his wife parents, but to me that's not enough to say, oh yeah, you're really unhappy, you should have an affair. Like, I mean, there's never a good reason to have an affair, but as someone who's very character driven, I think there's a lot of empathy you can give a lot of people in different situations. That being said, nothing about these first 2 episodes makes me empathetic towards this character at all. Like, you don't know anything about him. He's a wet blanket for most of these first 2 episodes. He constantly looks like a deer in the headlights. It would have been much more interesting to have a husband who does exude power and does exude authority and the right type of lust. I can't really get invested in this sort of affair when he just looks terrified all the time. That might sound very harsh, but that's my true, genuine reaction to how this character is being portrayed. I need to know more about what's going on in his head. I need more context for his relationship with his wife, because his wife is also a very interesting character. She's obviously had a very difficult upbringing and was, raised to be very tough, and you can see that being also passed down to how she raises her daughter. So I find her way more empathetic for me than the husband is, who is the one being manipulated and seduced by our female lead. I find the wife way more interesting, and she is also having her own affair. But that is because she has not had any physical touch from her husband in over 5 years. That's what I'm saying about, like, sometimes you can empathize with characters when they make wrong choices or morally great choices. You need to be given a motivation that makes sense, and hers is she has not had any love or tenderness or passion from her husband in 5 years. Like, poor girl. So an overarching issue is, like, I just don't know how I'm supposed to feel about the husband from these first 2 episodes. Am I supposed to root for him? Am I supposed, like, to not have the affair? Or am I supposed to be excited when he does have the affair? Like, what goes on in his head? Like, who is he? Who is he?
feel like I need to know way more about this guy before I'll become attached to him because I'm not getting attached based solely on his presence alone, like just his face acting and very little dialogue. Like it's not doing it for me. I need to know what's going on inside his head. Like, why does he look like that?
Another character who I don't have a great sense of is our female lead, but it's portrayed very differently because she is this mysterious woman who has this dark past and is seeking revenge. It comes across more as she's very politically minded and very emotionally intelligent. She knows how to smoosh people. She knows how to manipulate situations to get what she wants. So because I don't quite understand her as like an individual yet, I'm okay with, because I'm very interested to find out. One example of this is that I got the sense that not only is she putting on like a persona outside of her home, because our female lead also, like I've mentioned already, she has a family and a daughter and a husband, and she seems very kind and loving within that family nuclear unit. But you also get the sense that maybe she's acting there as well. So I'm very interested to get to know the real her and like pull back the layers. One final critique that I will give is that I'm very tired of seeing this kind of dynamic between women. I'm so tired of seeing the older wife, who frankly looks fantastic, although other female characters criticize her for looking her age, and it's like, calm down, women are allowed to age, when she's probably the same age or around the same age as her husband. Like the wife is older and our female lead, who will be the mistress, is younger. I'm so tired of this dynamic. One dynamic that they are presenting, which I do find intriguing, is there is an obvious comparison to how they operate as mothers. The wife is stern, is strict, is unloving in a lot of ways to her daughter, whereas our female lead is presented as the complete opposite to that. She's very receptive to what children need, and she's like the loving the loving side of motherhood. So I do like this sort of comparison. I think it's new and fresh, and it adds a really interesting dynamic. There's also one other character who I am interested in. He is an author who has connections to our female lead from her traumatic past. He is one of the people that helped get her to the States. I ship them so freaking hard. So am I gonna keep watching Eve? I think I may give it 1 or 2 more episodes, just because I am curious by the female lead and I want to know more about her underneath all the layers. Like, okay, you guys, that's everything from me. Have a good day, have a good night, bye.